Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Sam. I am a student of the Bible. I'm a pastor, been a pastor for 22 years, and I'm a writer, and my training involves biblical studies, theology, and biblical languages. I got a question in the comments of my last video that I was like, hey, I'll address this in my next video. So this video is all about resources. So the question was this: hi, Pastor, can you please recommend some best Bible software, commentaries, dictionaries, study Bibles, etc.? That's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna try to recommend some of the stuff that I use that I think are great. Here's the deal: there's a lot of stuff out there, and what I'm not gonna do is I'm not going to tell you like what to avoid and all that. There's I would say this: as you read through commentaries, as you read through different things, use discernment. Okay. I'm gonna actually add a couple other things that I think are really good resources as you start out in this journey. Okay. So first, let's talk about interpretation first. Okay, so that's I think more importantly than anything else, commentaries, study Bibles, whatever, is interpretation. First off, get a good version of the Bible that you're comfortable with, and then the second thing is learn the art of interpretation if you haven't already done that. And I have a couple books that I want to recommend that were really instrumental for me in helping me understand biblical interpretation. First, this book right here, How to Understand Your Bible by T. Norton Sterrett. This was when I went to my first undergrad college. I had a biblical interpretation class that this was what we used. And my second school that I went to used a couple of different ones from like Dallas Theological Seminary and that kind of stuff. Neither of them were as good as this one. This one was short, concise, but very good, and I still recommend this to today. I'm not even sure if it's in print still. Hopefully it is, but it is a great book about understanding your Bible and interpretation. Second one I would recommend is this. It's The Art of Biblical Narrative by Robert Alter. Robert Alter has just a way of helping you understand how to dig in, especially the Hebrew Bible, into biblical narrative and how to understand what's going on in that. This is a great book. Okay, so if we're talking about interpretation first, because I think the best thing to start doing before you start adding in other people's thoughts and ideas is to learn how to interpret for yourself. Get to the Bible, get a good baseline interpretation for yourself, and then kind of go from there. All right, so let's talk about some study Bibles. I have three that I use. Two that I use pretty regularly, and one of them is kind of a funny one and I'll kind of tell you why. And then that one I actually left at home. It's not in my office here. And the third one is a little bit controversial for me, so you'll have to just hang with that. First one is this. It's the New Oxford Annotated Bible. It's the NRSV is the version that comes with this. This is the 5th edition. I also have the college edition at home, and that one was done by Bruce Metzger and some of that team. This one is the newest and latest one, and so it doesn't have the updated edition of the NRSV in it, but I think that's probably coming at some point. It has the Apocrypha in it, though, but this has great study notes. It has great footnotes, and it has great introductions to each of the books, and it has amazing essays in the back. So I use this often when I'm studying for all kinds of different things, whether it's message prepping, whether it's these videos, academic stuff. This was the Bible that I used in my academic settings, and it's also the one that I kind of hang on to when I'm really wanting to dive deep into stuff. The second study Bible I use is actually a study Bible I used while I was in my second undergrad, and it's the Ryrie Study Bible, the NASB 95. And I have a really kind of love-hate relationship with the Ryrie Study Bible because it's dispensational to the core. And so you really have to get past that. And like I said, sometimes you have to use discernment. So you got to get past some of that dispensational language. And if you don't know what dispensationalism is, it's a way that they chop up the Bible and look at it from like different ages and different dispensations, and it has to do with how they view the end times and all that kind of stuff. So once you get past that kind of stuff and can discern that out, there's some pretty good stuff in the footnotes. So I use that. The third one that I said is a little bit of a controversial one for me is that I do use this ESV study Bible for a lot of things. For the most part, and if you've been on my channel for any length of time, you know I've had 3 different videos where I've talked about the ESV. I'm not going to do that in this video. I'll just say this. For the most part, it's a really good translation, and for the most part, it has good stuff in the study notes. I don't like how they view how they view men and women and their relationship there, and I don't like how they rolled out the ESV, and I don't like how they seem to bend it towards their theology. Outside of that, it's a pretty good word for word translation, and the study notes are actually pretty decent in this study Bible. So I just know what to look for when I feel like it's problematic and kind of gloss over that. So yeah, just use discernment. But there's some good stuff in this. So I do use this from time to time as a study Bible from study note. This book is fantastic. It's a little expensive, but it's The New Testament in Its World by N.T. Wright and Michael F. Bird. This gives you all kinds of amazing notes on New Testament background, historical stuff, all of what was going on, why things were written the way they were. Excellent material. I would advise, if you're going to have anything in your library to help you with interpretation, help you with understanding the historical side of the context, this is a good one. Commentaries. Okay, so what commentaries do I use? Well, I have 4 that I want to recommend, and it all kind of depends on what branch of like the church you're in, how, where you're at. So one of the ones I use regularly is the Expositors Bible Commentary, and I'll run to that and look up things in that. I think it's pretty decent in the notes there. Sometimes it bends one way really significantly. Sometimes it's a little more accessible for everybody, and so you just have to know that. Another one is the Word Biblical Commentary. These are great. I use these a lot when I'm studying for passages for like preaching and that kind of stuff, or just to study on my own, or to do like these videos or whatever. The other 2 I don't have with me. I don't have an example with me because they're in my office at home, but the Hermenia commentaries, those are great. Those are really great. Those are more critical commentaries, and they really are just kind of not bent one way theologically or another. They're just kind of, this is what the text says. And the other one is the Anchor Bible commentaries put out by Yale. Those are really good. So any one of those combination of those 4, or any one of those 4 are going to get you some really good content. I use all of them, and like if I show you, here's so I'm doing a message here coming up, and I actually go and print off all of my commentary notes, and I'll highlight, I'll write in it. And I have like all of the commentary stuff in here, and that's how I begin to prep for message prepping, for just studying for these videos and that kind of stuff. And then I'll usually use 3 or 4 different commentaries to look at. Bible study Bible notes, all that kind of stuff. But I dive deep into languages too. And so if you don't understand Greek and Hebrew, that's okay. These ones would do a pretty good job. And if you hear a bunch of like construction, they're doing something next door. So sorry about that. As it relates to like software, Logos is going to be like the number one if you can afford it. It's expensive. There's a free option of it, but that only gives you a very limited amount. It depends on what you want to do with it. But Logos, if you have the money to be able to invest in it, it's a worthy investment. Accordance, there's another one. You just look up Bible software, and you can see all that. If you just want to compare Bible verses with each of the different Bibles, and if you want to maybe look up someone who's done a lot of the work in the Greek and the Hebrew, maybe you don't understand parsing, you don't understand sentence construction in Hebrew or Greek, but you just want to know, okay, what does this word mean? Where can I find it in the Strong's lexicon, all that kind of stuff? Or where can I find it? What part of speech is it? You can go to Bible Hub, and they usually have all of that in there. They have it compared with most of the translations, and You can even go in and see the Greek and the Hebrew. I've done that on this on these videos every once in a while, but that's a good place to start. They're not going to have a lot of the extra stuff software-wise that other programs will that you paid for. So, yeah, those are my recommendations, and hopefully that was helpful. You can see my other videos for recommendations for Bible translations and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, hope that helps. All right, thanks for the question. Thought that was a good one to answer today. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.